Evangelist John Wesley actively opposed slavery and encouraged mine workers to unite in order to resist the inhuman treatment that was going on with their employers. Evangelist Charles Finney worked in the Underground Railroad, taking many slaves to freedom. Completely illegal and criticized. How could an evangelist be doing this illegal thing? His college, Oberlin College, became a major stop on the Underground Railroad. Evangelist D.L. Moody opened homes for underprivileged girls, rescuing them from exploitation on the streets. Charles Spurgeon, pastor and one of the great evangelists of the 19th century, built 17 homes to help care for elderly women and a large school for hundreds of children. Spurgeon and his church built homes for orphans, rescuing them from starvation, from vice on the streets of London. And Amy Carmichael, one of my great spiritual heroes, one of the first people I want to look for in heaven. Amy Carmichael rescued many sexually exploited girls of India from temple prostitution and the horrors related to that. She built them homes, a school, and a hospital. Now, each one of those people I mentioned are known for evangelism and missions. They're known as, they'd be on anybody's short list of people who devoted their lives to the Great Commission. But look what they did. They did the equivalent, the exact equivalent of what Assure Pregnancy Clinic is doing every day. And that's why, not for a moment do I hesitate. And no one asked me to do this. Though probably no one will stop me from doing it either. And that is, I'm going to encourage you to give, and give generously, give radically to this ministry. Give to your local church and encourage your local church to support Assure Pregnancy Clinic as well. And then in your over and above free will offerings, you get involved and you support, and then give of your time and give of your prayers to this ministry. This is an investment in eternity. Jesus said, don't store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust corrupt and where thieves break in and steal. Why should you not store up treasures on earth? Not because it's the wrong thing to do. His logic is, it's the stupid thing to do. It's not going to last. Instead, take the material wealth God has entrusted to your care and store it up in the things that are going to count for eternity. Don't store up for yourselves treasures on earth. Store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust and dust can't corrupt and thieves can't break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And you say, well, I wish I had more of a heart for a ministry like this. I guess it sounds pretty good. Well, Jesus told you exactly how to get more of a heart for it. Put your treasure there, and where your treasure is, your heart will be also. And then when you invest your life in the things that matter, when you turn away from just always accumulating and storing up treasures on earth, and then store up treasures in heaven, what you're doing is switching your life around, because when you're storing up treasures on earth, it means every day you get closer to the day you die, and every one of us does, right? Every day. Then what you're doing is you're spending your life moving away from your treasure. Jesus says, turn it around. Store up your treasure in heaven. Then every day of your life, instead of backing away from your treasure, you're going to be moving toward your treasure. He who spends his life moving away from his treasure has reason to despair. He who spends his life moving toward his treasure has reason to rejoice. Invest yourself in the work of God. Invest it in your Christ-centered Bible teaching local church. Invest it in ministries such as this one. You're here tonight. You're here tonight for a reason. I'm convinced God has brought you here. And I pray that God would move your heart toward the joy, the privilege of participating in something which is making a difference in needy human lives, which is bringing the gospel to people, and not only bringing the words of the gospel, but living out the gospel by getting down there and caring for the most needy, weak, exploited, often confused people, and having the joy of seeing their lives touched and changed. And some won't turn to Christ for salvation, but some of those same ones will let their child live, and some of those same ones will change how they think and feel about Christians and the Christian faith. And maybe it's not now, but maybe down the road sometime they'll remember what was done for them by this clinic and by the people that prayed for and supported and volunteered for this clinic.